Hi, and welcome back to Mad About Cards and Crafts. My name is Marla. Today I am sharing this adorable, not too shabby shop design team project. Jamie has recently released a mini Christmas release with 2 stamp sets. Let's take a look at those. The one on the left is called Winter Friends, and the one on the right is called Winter Sentiments. And I'm going to be using both sets today. I had to speed this up a lot because there's a lot going on here. I am using Catherine Pooler inks. I'm using the Spring Fling collection. This first color is called Mint to Be. I have aligned both of the trees from the Winter Sentiment set, and I am going to be stamping them in multiple colors. So now I'm going to the next line. I started in the middle so that I could make sure that everything would be centered properly. If I would have started at the bottom, I may not have been able to get everything aligned and it might have been a little bit wonky. I'm super happy with the way that the background turned out. This color is called It's a Boy. This is a wonderful collection from Catherine Pooler. They stamp beautifully. I get a really good impression with them. I did prime my stamps as they're new, so I took my Tombow Mono sand eraser and I rubbed them across the stamps before I started stamping. I am going to put my final color on this panel, and it's going to be the pink, and that pink is called It's a Girl. So I am using the mini cubes. I do not have any of the full sized cubes. I just think that the Catherine Pooler inks are fabulous. They are one of my go-to ink sets, and Jamie does carry them over at the Not Too Shabby shop. This mini stamp set is, as I said, it's small. So there is the bunny, the fox, and then a sentiment that says Warm Winter Wishes. I could have added a coffee cup to the bunny's hands, and I chose not to for this particular card, but I think that it would be absolutely adorable. I do forego showing you for time's sake. As you can see, this is a rather long video, so I did forego showing you the stamping. I did use Gina K Designs amalgam ink in Whisper to stamp out my bunny, and you're going to see that it's going to be very, very light. Now I'm going to add the snowflake using the purple ink. There are 2 purple inks in this collection. The one that I'm using is called Sweet 16, and it's the lighter of the purples. And I'm just going to add that snowflake all over. There is a tiny heart that comes with the Winter Friends collection, and I'm going to use that using the Bellini ink, which is a peachy color. Then, as usual, I want to splatter, and so I am going to use several of the ink colors to do some splattering. I will use the purple, which is the Sweet 16. I'll use the pink, that's It's a Girl, and then I'm going to add the blue, which It's a Boy, and finally I will come in with my Gonzai Tombow starry colors. Unfortunately, it's really hard to photograph the sparkle in anything, and so you're not going to get a really good look at it, but in person it's absolutely beautiful. It's a very subtle. I use the second lightest color, which is a very light gold. I think about using some of the other colors and I decide not to. This is my little splat box, and I'm going to put the colors onto my cube. I'll spray some water. This is a number 12 brush. It's my favorite brush for doing ink splattering. I like larger ink splatters, so this brush works really well with that. All of the products that I'm using will be listed in the description box below, as well as affiliate links for those. When you click on those affiliate links, I do receive a small commission, and I appreciate when you do click those affiliate links because it really does help me to continue to buy new product to bring to my channel. And there is no additional cost to you when you click those affiliate links. Now we're moving on to the watercoloring of our bunny. I wanted to do a little bit of no-line watercoloring. I do end up coming in and reinforcing some of the lines that are on there because I just felt that there's some really fine detail on this bunny that I felt was getting lost, and so you'll see at the end that I do come in and reinforce some of those lines. I'm using the exact same colors that I used to create my background. So for the bunny hat and the bunny snowsuit, I'm using the Mint to Be. And you'll notice that when I lay the color down, that where the ink was that I stamped the image with, that it will be a little bit darker there. So I do get a little bit of lines from the paint at going onto that very light ink, but it still provides that no line coloring look. This is one of my favorite ways to color, and this is just a generic paintbrush. I'm coloring or painting on Canson XL watercolor paper, and it worked pretty good. Canson's not my favorite. I do like to use Canson for certain things, and I thought that I would try it with these inks. But I find that when I use better watercolor paper, I had to think of what I wanted to say. When I use better watercolor or more quality watercolor paper, I do find that the ink moves more freely. I had to add a lot of water for me to be able to get the paint to move on the Canson. Just a little bit of a heads up if you're new to watercoloring that the paint just doesn't move as well on this particular paper, but I do love the heaviness of it, and it really does help provide a stable place for this rabbit. I did bring in that It's a Girl to start painting the scarf, and I decided, since I don't have any gray Catherine Pooler inks, that I would bring in this Distress Oxide in Hickory Smoke. So this is going to actually be the color of my bunny, as well as I will use it to reinforce the white bobble on the bunny's hat and the bunny's tail. Now, when I do take this over to my brother Scan and Cut, I didn't realize, I don't know how I didn't see it, but I really try to check my images really well before I cut, but I didn't realize, because the bunny tail was super white, that the brother Scan and Cut didn't pick it up, and my bunny tail gets cut off. And I take a couple of pictures, which you're not going to see, but I take a couple of pictures, and I'm getting ready. I post in one spot, so my design team, I went ahead and posted, and then I went back and I was looking at the photo, and I realized I don't have a bunny tail. So at the very end of this video, I am going to dig the bunny tail out of the trash can, because I do have the piece of paper that was left over. I had thrown it in the trash. I will take that and do a little bit of fussy cutting and fussy cut that tail out. So the muzzle right here, this is where I think that I lose some of the detail with the no line watercoloring, because it is such a tiny image. And I didn't like the way that the ink was pooling so much. You can see on the left and the right side of the muzzle where the ink was. I don't like the way that the watercolor is adding that much depth to that area of the muzzle. So I will fix that towards the end of the video. I'm just coloring in the pom-pom, not coloring the whole thing, doing it very lightly to make sure that it still looks like it's white. I'm coloring in the bunny's hands and the edges of the hat. I decided that I wanted his cheeks or her cheeks to be white, so I kept that portion white, and I colored the center part of the forehead with the same hickory smoke. And now I'm just blending out. I'm using a lot of water here, and I'm using a lot of water to really wash out that color to make sure that I'm not getting the deep lines on the left and the right side. I'm going to color in the nose using It's a Girl. And just trying to decide where I need to deepen some of those colors. So where the shadows would be, where it's going to be a little bit darker, is going to be on the left and the right side of the ears, where the hat meets, underneath the scarf, on the bottom of the bunny, where the feet are meeting the suit, where the arms are. And I lose some of the detail from the jingle bells. The jingle bells are super tiny. I did come in with the It's a Boy very, very, very watered down, and I am going to end up coming in again later on and just darkening up that color because I felt that it was still just a little bit too light. And then I'm going to bring a white gel pen in, and with that gel pen I'm going to add some polka dots to the suit, and I'll add some freckles to the bunny's cheeks. Jamie does offer a discount code. The discount code is Jamie for 10% off your order. She has free shipping right now with orders of $45 or more, and she also offers a rewards program. If you haven't signed up for that, I highly encourage you. I believe for every $100 that you spend, you get $5 to use towards the purchase of anything in her store, so those points accumulate. They do expire, and she does send you an expiration notice. I believe they last for a year. You do need to sign up for that rewards program, so make sure that you do so. Jamie also has a Instagram page, and I will link that in the description box, as well as her Pinterest. So all of the products that she has drawn or stamp sets that she has that are not too shabby brand, she has a Pinterest page, and I'll link that in the description box below. There's where I reinforced the bells. I came in with the black pen. I think next time I would have used my colored pencils, because I am going to come in later on with my polychromo pencils, just a few of them. As I said, I did want to reinforce some of the coloring, and I felt like the colored pencils were the best way to go. I love the polychromos. They are so smooth and creamy. I think that they just work really well. Here I'm just blending out the pink. I thought it was a little bit too light. I added a little bit of gray to it. I have cut this sparkle paper from my stash. That's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base cut from Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. This lavender panel is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I did cut down the panel that I created using the trees to 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm using art glitter glue to glue that down. That is my glue of choice. If you are interested in art glitter glue, it is almost time for it to finish shipping. It does not ship in the winter because it does get ruined in the cold. So I would highly recommend, if you're interested in that product, that you would purchase it shortly because it's not going to be available until next spring. I added some foam tape to the back of this hexagon and to the back of my bunny. This hexagon is from my stash. I took the sentiment Warm Winter Wishes from the Winter Friends stamp set. I used the Sweet 16 to stamp that out. For the background, I used the It's a Girl, and now I'm using that snowflake again with the Sweet 16. I cut another hexagon, a larger one, using that same glitter cardstock from my stash. And here's where I'm going to add that little bit of foam tape, and then I'm going to start assembling my card. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe. Ring the bell so that you're notified whenever I do upload a video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to remove the tape from the back of the bunny. I didn't show the portion where I removed it from the hexagon, but I did, obviously. And I'm going to place my image down, and I'm going to take that diamond stickles, and in the center of each of the snowflakes on both the hexagon and the background, I'm going to add that stickles, and then I'm going to come in and do just a little bit of coloring with these polychromo pencils. The dark gray that I use is called Gray 4. The light gray that I end up using is called Gray 3. The green that I use is called Earth Green. I'm going to reinforce the cheek colors using the using the light flesh, and then I'm going to just do a little bit of shading in the scarf with the rose Carmine. As I said, I will list these colors in the description box below. There's not a whole lot of them. When you lay down the pencils, you can, if it gets a little bit too dark, you can use your sand eraser to soften that up. I decided to go around the eyes and add a little bit of eyelashes, and I added some little pock marks where the bunny's whiskers would be. So I add that to the muzzle. And then that's going to pretty much be my card. I want to thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope that you stuck with me throughout this video. I absolutely love this particular collection. Jamie drew these herself. She's such a talent. Head on over to the Not Too Shabby shop. And until next time, I hope that you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for watching.